Hey guys, this is David, aka Package Stealer, and welcome to the channel. The PlayStation 5 is a year old, hooray! And people still can't buy one. Well, I'm sure that a lot of YouTube videos will be about PlayStation 5 1 year later and all of this kind of stuff, and should you buy the PS5? Well, I'm going to try something different. Instead of trying to tell you whether or not it's worth it, I'm just going to give you 3 things that I like about it and 3 things I don't like about it. So if you like stuff like this, a sub to the channel would be much appreciated. Alright, let's roll the intro. Alright, so the very first thing I like about the PS5 is the DualSense controller. Like right off the bat, one of the best things about the PS5 is the DualSense controller. I think it's an improvement on the previous DualShock 4 in every way. It's bigger than the DualShock 4, but still feels really good in the hand. Also, while it's not as customizable as Microsoft's Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, it has features that literally change how you play games. Sony designed it so that the haptic motors give different sensations depending on how developers program it. For example, playing Astro's Playground, you can feel the subtle differences in walking on different surfaces. Additionally, the triggers have varying levels of resistance to simulate different things such as pulling the trigger of a gun. That said, sometimes the stiffness can be somewhat annoying as it can make it difficult to quickly fire depending on the gun. Also, I still overall prefer the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller because I prefer the offset joysticks for shooting games. So check out my review on that one if you haven't seen it. The DualSense is still an excellent evolution of the DualShock, and I hope that Microsoft adds some of those haptic features into their controllers as well. The next thing that I like is backwards compatibility with PS4 games. One useful feature is that the PS5 has backwards compatibility with almost every PS4 game. In many cases, it results in increased performance or resolution. Now, most of the time, you can at least use the PS4 Pro settings to either favor resolution or performance. Even without any performance enhancements, being able to simply revisit those excellent PlayStation 4 exclusives like God of War or Spider-Man is a great cherry on top. That said, there is still more Sony can do in this arena, but we'll get to that later. The third thing that I like is that SSD, that fast SSD. In fact, this is probably worth the price of the PS5 by itself. Now, I'm primarily a PC gamer, so I'm used to how fast SSDs are, but the SSD inside the PS5 is on another level. It really is refreshing being able to instantly fast travel to other spots in Spider-Man, or quickly resume the game after dying. Obviously, there are native PS5 games that truly take advantage of the SSD. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a perfect example of this. You literally portal between dimensions in real time without any noticeable loading hiccups. Well, most of the time. It really enables true next generation of games, which actually bodes well for PC gamers considering many of them actually use NVMe SSDs like the one in the PS5. It's not even just PS5 games though. Even PS4 games load noticeably faster even though they haven't really been optimized for the PS5. Now, that leads me to the 3 things that I don't like about the PS5. Number 1 is the lack of a 1440p option. As I said before, I'm primarily a PC gamer. I typically play games on a 144Hz 1440p gaming monitor. I think it's the best middle ground between resolution and performance. Unfortunately, the PS5 still does not have an option for 1440p. It's either 1080p or 4K. Now technically, I do have a 55-inch 4K TV in my living room, but I prefer playing games at my desk at my monitor. It's more convenient for me to hook both my PC and my PS5 up to the same monitor where I can just simply switch back and forth between the inputs. It also makes it easier to record PS5 gameplay on my PC for videos like this. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it is disappointing considering the Xbox Series X has an option for 1440p. I think Sony said they're going to add a 1440p option in the future, but I feel like that's something that should have been added at launch, or at least soon after the console launched. Number 2 is backwards compatibility with older PlayStation generations. I mentioned earlier how great that it was that I can play most PS4 games on the PS5 with no problems. The problem is, that's as far back as you can go. Microsoft ported a bunch of Xbox 360 and original Xbox games to the Xbox One in 2017, and you can still play those older titles on the Series S and the Series X. Why can't I play older PlayStation games on the PS5? Why can't I boot up the original Metal Gear Solid, or Siphon Filter, or Legacy of Kain Soul Weaver? Yes, you can technically play some of those games on PlayStation Now, but that's still not ideal because you have to stream them over the internet. It's a shame because PlayStation consoles have arguably one of the greatest game libraries of all time, and it's the main reason why I've owned every single PlayStation console ever, including the PSP and the Vita. The third thing that I don't like is there is no Game Pass equivalent. Microsoft has made perhaps the greatest deal in gaming right now. For at least $15 a month, you have access to an entire library of games, Netflix style. And you can download them unlike PlayStation Now, which is somewhat similar, but you have to stream them like I mentioned before. Also, Game Pass also allows you to play Microsoft exclusive titles on day one. Sony doesn't have anything like that at the moment. At the very least, I believe Sony could at least add more value to PlayStation Plus by adding day one releases of their exclusive games. You still have to pay full price for PlayStation exclusive games. So those are the 3 things that I liked and 3 things that I didn't like. Now the question as to whether or not it's worth it, if you're a PC gamer like me, it's totally worth it because you can play all of those PlayStation exclusive games that aren't available on PC. In fact, if you're a PS4 owner, I would still say it's worth it because one, you get the increased performance on the PS5, you get the fast SSD on the PS5, which makes loading those PS4 games a lot faster. So I would say that it's definitely worth it if you're in one of those 2 camps. If you can find one, that is. Let me know down in the comments your experiences. Do you have a PS5? Do you like it? If you don't have a PS5, do you plan on getting one? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below and let's have a conversation. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and until next time, Soli Deo Gloria.